Download the BCSN Plus app today. Visit bcsnnation.com for.
Well, the Toledo Detroit shuttle has been active with plenty of players going up and down as we welcome in Matt Melzak. Matt, it's been a while. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Mark. It has been a little bit with all these Monday games and then turning around and having, travel to Canada and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's been a little while since we've gotten to do one. You're
back in the baseball mode now, and unfortunately, the Hens, after a fantastic May, they've slumped so far in June.
Yeah, they've and a lot of it has to come with, as you talked about, that shuttle. It has changed the way this lineup looks, and the pitching staff as well. It's kind of uprooted a lot of things. You had an illness hit the squad last week. So now you're just trying to piece it together and find that footing again. And I really felt like last week it stemmed from that Tuesday game when the Hens got up 5-0, 2 innings in, ended up blowing that lead with the 7-run third inning against them, and weren't able to rebound to get the victory. I thought that was the telltale sign of the week. Because after that, they struggled to score offensively. They had a couple of bad innings go against them, on the pitching side of things. Otherwise, it was a very close series other than a few innings. And when those innings went big for Omaha, they went big. And it cost the Hens a full sweep last week.
Yeah, we had a rain-shortened game in there as well. And we got a couple of players, both position players and pitchers, back in Toledo trying to figure some things out.
Yeah, you're going to have that. I mean, over the course of the season, there's going to be some guys like Bo Brisky gets sent down. He looked really good in his inning that he came in for Toledo, where the ball was just kind of jumping out of his hand nicely. But he's got some things to work on to be back at the big league level, and he'll continue to work on those. We finally got to see Matt Vierling again. Hopefully he can kind of get things rolling this week against St. Paul, and then he can be back to help out the Tigers. So, because they could use that right-handed bat of his at the Detroit Major League level. So there's still some things. There's always some things to be looking at and looking upon. And, for the Hens, they're not going to win the first half. That's going to go to Lehigh Valley. With the first half will culminate on Sunday this week. So it'll be a fresh start when the team gets back home. They get 9 straight at home starting next Tuesday, a week from tomorrow, to kind of kick off the second half.
One of those all-name guys, Brewer Hicklin, fantastic name, and since he's rejoined the Tigers organization, he's been swinging a mean stick at a big game this week.
He did. On Tuesday, he had a couple of home runs for him. He mixed in another double later in the series. He's a guy that can get really hot for him, and they could use that. And especially when you're missing Bly Madris, and you're going to miss him now for the better part now, a month and a half, plus with him being on the 60 days. So that's going to be a difficult spot to fill for the Mud Hens. So they're going to need some guys to step up. And it just felt like everybody went into kind of a downturn the same time. It's so weird to see. What's probably going to happen, Mark, is there's going to be a breakout game at some point this week at St. Paul where the team's going to score like 10 runs. They're going to have 18 hits, and everything will start going in the other direction again.
Yeah, winning and hitting can be contagious many times. One thing I do want to touch on from the Omaha perspective, Joey Weimer, the Bedford grad, Northwest Ohio, Southeast Michigan native. Big week of games for Weimer with plenty of his friends and family at Fifth Third Field.
Yeah, he had a great week and sorely needed for him as he came in with a batting average under 200. It struggled a little bit in the Kansas City organization, so he needed something to kind of jumpstart his year. And hopefully for him it was this week because he had a couple home runs. He mixed in a hit most every game. He was looking good at the plate. Wasn't striking out as much. So some positive things there for Joey Weimer, and certainly hope the best for him going forward because of the fact he's got that Bedford roots. So I'd like to see him find his way back to the major league level and produce there.
Hens hit the road this week, taking on St. Paul. 2 franchises, historical franchises that are both coming off of a rough patch of games.
Yeah, St. Paul, the same thing. They struggled last week at home. So they're in the midst of a 2-week homestand. The Hens will be the second part of that. It's going to be an interesting series. Minnesota always has some guys coming through the pipeline. So we'll see how well they stack up this week.
And then, as Matt said, after a week on the road, the Hens home for 9 games leading into that 4th of July. And, of course, they're going to be home the week in the Italian Bowl, so a chance to get a little football and baseball in your bloodstream coming up in less than 2 weeks. Matt, thank you so much.
Looking forward to it, Mark.